So last time, ang ating naging discussion ay about sa mga great inventors and their inventions. About sa mga electromechanical machines. Unahin natin si yung aking kapangalan, aking katukayo. What's his name?
Herman.
Si Herman.
Hollerith.
Right, si Herman Hollerith and his tabulating machine. Ano? So yun ang naging kanyang invention, which was invented in the year 1890 gamit ang punch cards to record and sort data ang tabulating machine. Ano? Okay. So next natin, sino yung next natin na inventor? Who wants to recite? After Herman Hollerith, yung sumunod sa kanya ay sino?
Vannevar Bush.
Right? Thank you, Lian. Ano yung na-invento ni Vannevar Bush? Anyone? Vannevar Bush, ang kanya na-invento ay ang differential analyzer ba yun? Differential engine? What? Analytical engine? Ako na, wala na, nakalimutan na. Nagka-amnesia na. Anyway, sige, dire-diretso natin, para hindi tayo kapusan sa oras. Okay, so si Vannevar Bush and his differential analyzer, which is the precursor to the modern computer. And it was invented in the year 1930. Right? Vannevar Bush at ang kanyang differential analyzer. So dito na nagsimula ang mismong yung modern computer, sa kanya na nagsimula kay Vannevar Bush. Next is si Howard Aiken and his Mark I invention. Yan, si Howard Aiken, he invented the Mark I. So dinesign niya siya noong year 1937. In the year 1939, it was approved and funded by which company? Which company approved his project and funded?
IBM.
IBM, right? IBM, also known as the International Business Machine. Yan. Thank you, JB. So yun nakakatatlo na tayo. Next, kay Howard Aiken naman ay babae. The only lady sa ating discussion. Sino siya uli?
Grace Hopper.
Grace Hopper. Si Grace Hopper ay isa sa mga one of the first programmers of Mark I. Okay? One of the first programmers of Mark I. Si Grace Hopper. And she founded the very first bug, the first computer bug. At sa kanya rin, unang nagmula ang word na debugging. Yan. Tapos, Germans also had their own electromechanical inventions, which were Enigma Machine and Colossus Machine. Both of them are built to decipher codes. Okay? Para mag-decipher, para mag-translate from codes into language na naiintindihan ng tao. So yan. So that's all for electromechanical machines. And for today, last part na tayo ng ating lesson. Sa wakas matatapos rin yung lesson natin. Okay? So lesson 1, dito na magtatapos sa generations of computer. Okay, so medyo mahaba-haba yung lesson 1, kaya inabot tayo ng 2 weeks. So we're going to discuss today the generations of computer. The modern computer took its shape, with the arrival of your time. It had been around 16th century when the evolution of the computer started. The initial faced many changes, obviously for the betterment. It continuously improved itself in terms of speed, accuracy, size, and price to urge the form of the fashionable day computer. And this long period is often conveniently divided into subsequent phases called computer generations. So the first generation is from 1940 to 1956. Second generation ay 1956 to 1963. Third generation, 1964 to 1971. The fourth generation is 1971 up to present. And the fifth generation is present and beyond. So before kasi, before modern computers were invented, na-imbento nga yung mga nauna nating discussions. Ilan na nga ang abacus, the Pascaline, step reckoner or the Leibniz calculator, the differential engine and analytical engine. So ito na, papasok ngayon tayo sa first generation. Okay, the first generation computers, 1940 to 1956, is also known for its vacuum tubes. Okay, so the technology behind the primary generation computers was a fragile glass device which was called vacuum tubes. Yung mga nauna ng TV, mga vacuum tubes ang ginagamit yan. Before tayo maging LED, bago maging LED TV. So naka-vacuum tube sila. And these computers were very heavy and really large in size. So these computers weren't very reliable, and programming on them was a really tedious task. Mahirap talagang So nakakapagod yung task para ma-program ang mga computers before. And they also use high-level programming language, and they didn't have OS or operating system. So first-generation computers were used for calculation. They were used for storage and control purposes. So makikita nyo, in that picture, they were too bulky and large. Mas patangkad sa tao yan . And that they needed a full room and consume a lot of electricity. Halos yan . Kung i-compare sa ating classrooms, siguro mga times 4 ng room ng grade 3. Yung kayang dapat na paglagyan ng first generation computers. Or maybe larger, maybe larger pa. So the main first generation computers are, yung una natin ay ENIAC. Okay, ENIAC, also known as the Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. Please pakitandaan ang ibig sabihin ng letters ng ENIAC. Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. It was built by Presper Eckert and John Maudsley. And was general purpose computer was the first programmable, ang ENIAC ENIAC was the first programmable electronic general purpose digital computer made in 1945. Right? In 1945, it was able to solve a large class of numerical problems. So as you can see in that picture, okay, in this image, ENIAC is very large. It's very heavy and contained around 18,000 vacuum tubes. And as you can see in this image, ENIAC already occupied the whole big room. So ganyan siya kalaki. Isang computer lang yan It's only the ENIAC. Pero ganyan kalaki yung sinakop niya. Right? So that's the first Yan yung isa sa mga first generation computers. So another one, may isa pang first generation computer called EDSAC. Kanina ENIAC, ngayon naman EDSAC. EDSAC means electronic delay storage. Mali yung nakalagay dito. It should be storage automatic calculator. Sorry. Electronic delay storage automatic. Okay? But delay ulit ito. Electronic delay storage automatic calculator. Yun ang ibig sabihin ng EDSAC. So EDSAC was an early British computer. It was constructed, EDSAC was constructed by Maurice Wilkes, or Wykes, sorry, Wykes. Okay, so ginawa yung EDSAC sa England, sa Cambridge Mathematical Laboratory in England. EDSAC was the second electronic digital stored program computer to go into regular service, and this was started in the year 1947. Kanina yung ENIAC, it was made in 1945. EDSAC naman started in the year 1947. So ganun din siya kalaki. Halos ganun kalaki, no? So it occupied the whole large room. Third na computer sa first generation is called the UNIVAC, or the Universal Automatic Computer. So this is the first general purpose electronic digital computer designed for business application produced in the US. It was designed principally by Presper Eckert and John Maudsley. They were also the inventors of ENIAC. So sila rin yun, okay? The inventors of ENIAC are also the inventors of UNIVAC. So the UNIVAC was intended to replace the punch cards accounting machines of the day. Kung ang ENIAC ay gumamit ng 18,000 na vacuum tubes, UNIVAC naman gumamit lang ng 4,000 vacuum tubes. So mas umunti na siya. And this UNIVAC could read 7,200 decimal digits per second. So yung time na yon, in that year, mabilis na siya. It is the fastest business machine built during that time, the UNIVAC. Okay, any question about the first generation computer? All right, sige. So proceed tayo sa second generation of computer. Second generation of computer. So this image is a vacuum tube. Okay, yan ang itsura ng vacuum tube na ginamit nung first generation of computers. Okay, so in 1947, kaya ko pinapakita, no, it's connected sa ating second generation. So in the year 1947, sina John Bardeen, Walter Brattain, and William Shockley, they are the three scientists who work at AT&T's Bell Labs. They invented the transistor. Okay? They invented what would replace the vacuum tube forever. Which functions like a vacuum tube that can be used to relay and switch electronic signals. So ito na siya. That is a transistor. Okay, so smaller size siya compared with sa ating vacuum tube. Okay, kahit naman sa wala kasi ako dito, wala akong sample ng transistor, but sana na ipakita ko sa inyo. Maliit lang yan. Okay? Ano lang kaliit yung transistor. So compared with vacuum tube, transistor was faster, more reliable, and much cheaper to build. So nagbago na, no? Nagbago yung kanyang itsura niya. Lumiit siya, naging mas mabilis at mas mura. Right? So second generation computers use the technology of transistors rather than bulky vacuum tubes. And another feature was the core storage ng second generation. So kung ang first generations ay vacuum tube, ang second generations naman ay transistors. Okay? Tandaan na, first generation, vacuum tube, second generation, transistors. At pasok sila sa mga years na 1956 up to 1963. Right, so yan na, second generation yan. Going now to the third generation. So again, this is a vacuum tube. Okay? Tapos naging transistor siya nung second generation. At nung third generation na ay naging integrated circuits or IC. So that's why yung third generation is also known as integrated circuits generation. So during the third generation, technology shifted from huge transistors to integrated circuits, also referred to as IC. So here, a variety of transistors were placed on silicon chips. Silicon chips called also as semiconductors. So that's why IC is sometimes referred to as semiconductor chip. Tanda na, yung ibang tao, yung other name sa IC is semiconductor chip. And the most feature of this era's computer was the speed and reliability. Okay, so the person in charge is Robert Noyce and Jack Kilby. So both of them independently discovered the amazing attributes of integrated circuits. So sila yung naka-imbento, no? Sila yung naka-imbento ng IC. So ganyan na itsura niya. Okay, may mas mahaba pa dyan. May mas mahabang IC pa compared with that one. And I'll be showing you, ito na yung ano, no? This is the samples, ano, nung mga computers nung third generations na. So mas maliit na siya compared sa isang buong classroom na, no? Sa isang buong room. Ang alam ko pa nga isang buong ano isang buong baseball field, football field. Before kasi yung computers ay isang buong football field ang sakop. But this time nung dumating na si IC, lumiit na siya. So ganyan na yung itsura ng ating mga computers. So hindi pala siya well improved pagdating sa monitors. Isang kulay pa lang siya, only green, ano? Green pala yung ang kulay. Right, so ganyan ang itsura, no? Then going now to the fourth generation of computers. Right? So this generation can be characterized by both the jump to monolithic integrated circuits and the invention of microprocessor. A microprocessor is a single chip that could do all the processing of a full-scale computer. So in the year 1971, the first microprocessors were used. So yun ang itsura, no, ng microprocessor. So the large scale of integration, LSI circuits built on one chip. Pinagsama-sama ang millions of transistors para makabuo ng isang microprocessor. So the most advantage of this technology is that one microprocessor can contain all the circuits required to perform arithmetic, logic, and control functions on one chip. Okay, so from vacuum tube, naging transistor, naging IC, tapos naging microprocessor. Yung microprocessor ngayon, marami ng laman yan. Okay, pinagsama-sama, meron siyang transistor, meron siyang mga diode, meron siyang pinasok na circuits, may pumasok na IC. Okay, so depende sa function niya yung pagkakabuo ng isang microprocessor. And the computers using microchips were called microcomputers. And this generation provided the even smaller size of computers with larger capacities. Okay, so mas lumiit, ano? Nagkaroon tayo ng microcomputers na nitong fourth generation. So ito na yung sample niya, no? Ito na yung sample ng kanyang mga computers. So nung unang pasok ng microprocessors, ganito mo lang muna. So it's a desktop computer. Originally kaya naging desktop siya kasi yung system unit andito, nakapatong ang monitor. Kaya naging desktop. Okay? And then followed by this one, lumaki-laki na yung monitor, naging yung CRT monitor. Mostly karamihan yung mga computers before ay puro white. Mga white lang ang lumabas ng mga computers before. Okay, so ito na siya. Naging tower na yung dating yung dating pahiga na system unit, naging patayo na. Okay, and then ito na yung mga latest natin. Naging iba-iba ng kulay. Meron ng pink, meron black. Pero karamihan ng computers ngayon ay black. And then we also had these microcomputers and laptops. Okay, so ito na, no? So yung first generation of computers ay simula 1971 until present. Right? Understood? Okay ba? Na malinaw ang discussion? Okay, going now to the last generation. For now, this is the last generation. So this is called the fifth generation of computers, which is the artificial intelligence. Okay, so present and beyond. From present and beyond. So the technology behind the fifth generation of computers is AI. I don't know kung nakapanood na kayo ng mga AI mismo yung title ng movie. AI is also known as artificial intelligence. So AI allows computers to behave like humans. Okay, and it is often seen in programs like voice recognition, area of medicines, and entertainment. So within the field of games, playing also its own remarkable performance where computers are capable of beating human competitors. So medyo ano siya, no? Pagdating sa gaming, kinakaaliwan na mapanood yung mga AI na kung saan tinatalo nila yung tao. Okay, so in the fifth generation of computers, speed is highest. Size is the smallest, and area of use has remarkably increased within the fifth generation computers. Though not 100% AI has been achieved to date, but keeping in sight the present developments, it is often said that this dream also will become a reality very soon. So as of now, hindi pa siya 100% yung pagiging AI. Until now, ay in progress pa siya. But if you're going to Japan, napakarami na dong AI. There are lots of robots or robotics sa Japan. Even kahit nasa mga middle schools, kaya na lang gumawa ng mga AI. Right, so ito na, no? Sa ending na tayo. So in order to summarize the features of varied generations of computers, it is often said that a big improvement has been seen as far because the speed and accuracy of functioning here. But if you mention the dimensions, so it's being small. So it's being small over the years. Paliit ng paliit. From isang buong football field, paliit ng paliit ang computers. And the value is additionally diminishing and reliability is in fact increasing. So sa first generation kasi, yung amount yung amount kung magkano yung nagastos nila sa first computer, napakamahal compared with today's generation na. Okay, so dati kasi inaabot sila ng $1 million sa pagbubuo lang ng computer. Isang computer lang yun, $1 million ang inabot. Compared with our present computer ngayon na 1,000 na lang ang gagastusin para magkaroon ng sariling computer. Right, let's have a review. Kung wala ng question.